Okie doke. This is this is mistakes and all. You can see uh, I tried to practice a little bit and it wasn't cutting right and I couldn't figure out what was going on. First, let me take this off the tripod. You can see how I have the oh, I'm glad I did that because my tripod wasn't set right. Okay. Anyway, you can see how I have the just tool rest clamped on here temporarily. You can see the angle, not quite enough. It really needs to go back further, but this is just a test. And using any um, any lathe tools at all because I don't have any. So, okay, there we go. That's a little better. I'm going to move this again in a minute, but let's see. There we go. Now this, you can see I have the cord wrapped around the workpiece. I did it wrong. See, it's wrapped. It's behind the person that's going to be doing the lathe work. It's going in behind and it's coming out behind. It actually has to come in from this side and go out from this side. So I'm going to actually do that live on camera. I'll have to get around the other side and do it. I like this little, right now I'm using a Phillips screw, which is very temporary, but eventually I'm going to put a knob on here to tighten up this poppet so it doesn't move. I love the way I've got it set up. It actually works pretty good. And eventually, you can Google spring pole lathes. You'll see how the I don't know if I should do it twice. If I do it twice, that might be too much. We'll see. I think that's just a little bit too tight, maybe. So I'll do it once. So you see now it's going, it's on the front side, coming down the front side. That's the way it's supposed to be. And that's why it wasn't cutting right. I love so far I'm liking this. It's really working out really very well. Doesn't take much to keep it in place with the pivot points. I may have to raise this. I've got to somehow get the part that the poppet rides on the rails. It's not quite level, so I may have to actually figure out a way to adjust that. I'll figure that out, but so far it's working pretty good. And for my first spring pole lathe, I'm super pleased, to be honest with you. Perfect. Let's see how that works. It's getting late, and I'm going to have to move this around. How am I going to do this? I don't know. I may block the view. I'm not sure, but we're going to find out. We'll find out. I'm going to do two things. I don't have I don't have lathe tools, so I'm using actually a just a regular gouge. Where's it at here? Okay. This should be interesting. I'm not even sure if that's sharp. We're going to find out. You know, it's late. I'm just kind of experimenting. And I'm going to try a rasp. See if I can rasp it. I don't know if I can, but we'll find out. Like I said, it's a lot of experimentation. I'm having fun doing it. And I'm trusting that the kids will too. I'm going to try the rasp first. Whoops. First I have to take this off of here. I rigged up a way to well, I'm doing something wrong here, folks. I'm not sure what I've done wrong. There we go. Be sure it's straight. Yeah. All right, we're gonna try it. Just mess around. Like I said, I gotta fine tune it. Needs a little more work. That's much better. Of course, it would help if I put the flat side on instead of the round side. I was using this side instead of the flat side, so let's try that. Hey, that's not bad. The foot's moving around too much for me, but we are going to figure that out. So let's try the gouge. This is new for me, like I said, on a spring pole lathe. Now I was told, and this is actually, you know, a lathe tool is actually going to be longer. And this needs to be closer. Once I made the actual tool rest, I can get very close. Like I need to be right about here. This rest needs to be about this far away so that I'm like this instead of way back here. But I'm going to just a little experiment. Yeah. You know what? I think I know what I can do. I surely do. I think I've made something similar to a ski shoe strap. We'll find out. That's what I mean. It hung. It caught like that. Number one, this is way too short. See, I'm actually on the handle. But what I was saying earlier, this is why this is so much safer than a power lathe. Is here I'll deliberately make it catch. I mean, it's really not going to do much more than that. On a power lathe, it's going to continuously be going, minimum of 700 RPMs. More likely between 1,500 and 2,000, maybe higher, depending on the type of lathe. But I might buy a used ski boot and use the strap. Maybe even the ski. I've never skied before. I don't know what the parts are for a ski boot and to strap the boot onto the ski. But I think I might buy an adjustable strap so that you can put your foot in it. Anyone could put their foot in it, and it would basically clamp onto your foot so that the board doesn't move. I don't know. I'll try. We'll see. I think this is kind of, it's a little dull, but let's see if I can. It's a little difficult, but moving just a little bit too much for my taste, but it is beginning to shape it. I'm sure it would look much better if I had the right tools, but and I don't think my technique is quite there yet. So I will figure out how to keep that from all the videos I've seen, people clamp that foot pedal down. They put I was going to say a wedgie. Yeah, they put a wedgie on to make it stay in place. So, but they put a hinge on it so it stays in one spot. I don't like that idea, just because it's going to be harder to move this around. But I don't know. We'll figure something out. We'll figure something out here. I don't quite have it quite right. Mainly because I think if I lower this, because when I put the handle on here, it raises it up too high. So I think if I lower it, that might help it a little bit. Because when I put this on here, it's too high, and I'm actually coming down too low. So I think I'm going to lower it just a little bit to compensate for that. So just hold on. Got to loosen the clamps up, lower it a little bit. Not sure how low to go, since this is all just kind of an experiment for right now. I would like to actually finish this week, but I don't know. I have 2 papers due tomorrow. And I want to go to Flagstaff to get the other lathe. Now that might work. The idea is you just want to barely touch it to get the corners off. But I can tell can tell it's getting easier as it gets round. The more round, the rounder it gets, it's easier to keep it on the workpiece. So I think I might figure out how to make an adjustable hinge that can slide on the floor plate. I'll figure something out. I surely will. So, but that did help a little bit. My angle is still off a bit. My technique is definitely off. I'm getting what they call kickback a little bit too much. But I figure, I don't know, a couple of days or less, having the right tools would help a whole lot. Let's try this way. Whoops. Oh, see how it catches? But that's the cool thing. It's not cool, but the good thing about using this, you can see it's starting to get round, and I'm 100% sure once I get my angle right, and I'm sure this is dull. You know what? Let me try to sharpen this just a little bit. Give me just a couple minutes, and I'll do a real quick sharpening lesson on the. I'm not 100% sure it'll make a difference, but because this is just the wrong tool, I just want to give you an idea of how it actually, how this works. And as you can see, it definitely shapes wood. And if I had the mandrel, which that's going to be the first thing I make is a mandrel. I called it a woodchuck in previous videos, but it's actually a mandrel. And that will actually enable us to turn some bowls and have a little bit of fun here. So let me bring this over here. Excuse me. I'll just do it right here. Let's see if you can see that. Yes, you can. I think you can. Okay. So it's on 600. This is a cheapo Harbor Freight simulated diamond bits. It works pretty good though. Actually, I shouldn't call it cheapo. It works very well. It got wet. You got a little rusted, but anyway, you start at the 200. That's the roughest grit. You get up there, 200, you go to 300, 400, 600 is the finest grit. I'm going to start at 300 and then go to 600. You put the number you want to use on top. Sits in this little thing. I actually screwed it onto this piece of wood and we clamped the wood down so it doesn't move around. And with these gouges, I'm not sure with these gouges, you kind of do this kind of well, do it this way. It's hard to do this with one hand, but you kind of do it like a figure eight. Trying to get the angle right. You can also do it this way. I hope you can see this, but you can do it this way. Start at the corner, one corner. Because it's rounded, I'm sure you can see that it's bevel. It's kind of, and it's round, half round. So they're actually very difficult to sharpen. It's getting there. And while you're doing this, you kind of twist it. so that you're getting the full width of the blade. That's a little better. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it because I need to go home. So now the 600 grit is the finest grit. Just do it like that. One reason it's hard to sharpen these, it's hard to get that bevel just right. At least for me it is. It's not too bad. Normally I would take something and sharpen the inside. I'm not going to do that today. Let's see how that works. I'm going to test it on a blank piece of wood that you cannot see, but I'm going to test it. That's a tiny bit better, but I'll give it a go. That actually helped quite a bit. That helped quite a bit. Now it's very rough. It's going to get smoother as I keep cutting the wood. I'm not sure my technique's right. I don't think it is. I don't remember if I'm supposed to do it this way. I think I'm supposed to do it like that, but I'm getting too low. That's why it's catching. I need to stay up here, but my technique just isn't quite there yet. It's getting there. It's getting there. I can see why they put a hinge on here and nail it to the faceplate or the floor plate, because that is really distracting. Keep getting it too low. I think my tool rest might be just a little bit too low. Let me raise it. But you can see it. Whoops. Thought something was funny there. Is it? I don't know if I did. I want it right about. Right about there. So you can see it's starting to get round, and this wood is definitely not the best. Probably not the best to actually do this with. It's fascia wood. Very soft, and so it's a little bit of a challenge for me. But if I put the rasps on here again, since it's so soft, I actually like doing this. I may have just found a new way to do lathe work with a spring pole lathe using a rasp. I like that. Let me try a smooth file and see what happens. Like I said, it's experimentation. It's been years since I've used an electric lathe, so to say I'm rusty would be an understatement, but I do know the basics. I still remember the basics. Let me raise this other clamp just a little. This other side of the tool rest, raise it just a little. But I like using this rasp, right? I really do. At least to get the initial rounding, it cuts the corners very well. Of course, this is really soft wood. I don't know how it would work on hardwood. It might say, "You're not doing that to me." Yeah, you take away the board moving, you could actually get quite a bit of work done here. And I will fix that for sure. I'll actually put that on I will definitely put that on some hinges and figure something out. I like doing it with this. Lord have mercy. If you didn't have to move the board every 30 seconds, it would be great. So that will get fixed on the next video. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. I don't like that. And I wonder if I wrap this twice, it give me a lot more tension. It might actually go faster. Yeah, because the board just keeps moving that direction. Very frustrating. I'm just put it on right now, but I gotta get home. This video is already long enough. Let's try this round side of the file and see what we get. Let's put it right here. File, I meant a rasp. It's a rasp. Yeah, that's just bugging the daylights out of me. I'm not OCD, but I'm learning how to become one right now. See if that works. Nope. Okay. Well, I'll put the hinges on. I think that will improve it by leaps and bounds, but that definitely didn't help. Lo and behold, look at that. Let's make a little bit of a sort of a rounded off section. So let's try the smooth file. Then I'll let you guys go. I'll go, and we'll call it a night. Just want to see if it would actually smooth this out at all. And I'm going to try putting my foot back in there because that actually did work fairly well. There we go. Smooth file. I usually use this for sharpening the chisels. Lord have mercy. Drive me cuckoo. Yeah, that will be the first thing I fix, is put this on hinges so that it's not moving around every 30 seconds. I've read that that is the frustration with this lathe, is the foot pedal movement, so I will fix that. Wow, that's pretty amazing. That smoothed that out. Not too bad. So, I may experiment with this a little bit. Let's try the chisels now that I've gotten a little. It's not quite round yet. Oh, now it's too high again. All right. Well, like I said, it's an experiment. We're going to work on this and work on the technique. But it is getting better. And I will lower that just a little bit again. Try, because I want to try that gouge. Lower it just a tiny bit. Try that gouge again. And like I said, work on my technique. I'm really rusty, but I do know the basics. And I am quite confident within a week or two, these kids are we're gonna all be turning bowls and different designer legs and I don't know, maybe drumsticks, baseball bat. I have to have it maple for that. We have to glue some maple wood together. This is gonna work. I mean, if it's working this well and I don't really have it finished, I was just like a kid in the candy shop. I couldn't wait to try it. That's really the thing that's going on here. And you see this? This is what's always a problem. It rubs your string out. So I'm gonna put that on a roller. I think I'll buy a roller at Home Depot. That will solve that problem. Just have it sticking out just a tiny bit. Yeah, I have to figure out how to clamp it on there or something, or make it adjustable. But yeah, I'll put a roller on there. That way it won't tear the string or an hour. So, but this is going to be cool. So just about there at the cutting angle that I need. Yeah, this is going to work. Once I get this in place, the foot pedal in place, get a roller on here so our string doesn't tear up in an hour. And that may be the wrong kind of rope. It's paracord. Usually it's very strong. But overall, for not being complete, I'm happy. And I'm already I was just about to say I'm already getting my technique back a little bit. Yeah, you can see with the handle on here, it's too high. So once I get the lathe tool, that will make a big difference. And once I make the tool rest, because I'll be able to slide it in and get right next to the work, that's going to make a huge difference. Whoops. Yeah, my angle's just not right. So, but I'm fairly happy, to be honest with you. Considering it's not done, and considering I'm not using lathe tools, it works. That's all I wanted to see, is that it actually would work, and it does work. So once we get the right tools, get a roller to keep this from tearing up, get the foot pedal in place, this is going to be awesome, man. Awesome, awesome. Yep, it's going to be totally cool. I'm liking the rasp more than the chisel, the gouge. So I may just figure out. I may put a piece of hardwood on here and see if the chisel works that way. Of course, for our class, since we don't really have much time per class, I would actually not even put a square. I wouldn't put a square piece of wood on here. I would actually try to make it octagon. Use a plane, maybe a bandsaw, and just get it as round as possible before I actually put it on here. That will save, that'll save a lot of time. We don't have to do this. And this is, from what I remember and what I've been relearning, this is the hardest part. If you're going to put a square piece of stock on here, is getting the corners down and getting it round. Of course, that rasp works, boy, incredibly well. Whoops. Workpiece came just a little bit loose. I heard that's normal too for these type of lathes. And I forgot to check it and tap it. That was the rattling you were hearing. There we go. It's a little better. There we go. And my string just broke, so that's the end of the video, folks. Well, it didn't break. It came off the piece of the work, but it's because this is wearing out. So yeah, we'll get a roller, get a pulley, old-fashioned pulley they used to use on outdoor laundry lines, and get us the right tools. I hope to have those by Thursday. Make sure this stays tight. So a little bit of fine tuning, but all I wanted to show you is that it actually does work. And it's rough, but that's normal to be rough like that at the beginning. Just like if you do it by hand, it's rough work. You know, if I take this, let's see if I can, no, it just totally came off. Okay. So if I took this, I could actually smooth it out quite a bit. But anyway, I'm happy with it. It's going to be great. And the next video I make will be after I have got my technique back and gotten the right kind of tool rest. That it'll actually be able to slide in and out close to the work. And yeah, it's good to go. Like I said, this was just to see if it actually would work, and it does work. The bungee cord works great. Let me take this off the camera. Boy, this was a long video, wasn't it? A little longer than I wanted. The bungee cord works great with the little carabiner. That works great. This part, let me unplug the phone for a second. Whoops. The part that needs fine tuning is right here. You can see how this tore my string apart. Let me zoom out. There we go. But it just tore my string to pieces, you can see. So that's why it fell off the work piece. But as you can see, it actually started making it round. And that's what we wanted. It's going to be fun learning this. I'm going to introduce this to the 5th graders, and hopefully they'll be here till they're in 8th grade. Everybody's going to get a shot to work on this, and well, we'll just start making some cool products on here, some cool projects. And this definitely needs work. I'll show you this side. It's so loose. It moves out this way because you're pushing it. You're pushing it forward, basically. So yeah, that will get fixed. Also, we're going to yeah, put a hinge right here, something. Here, you can watch it move. See how it starts sliding away. So Roy Underhill, he actually can make it stay in one spot, but he's a hand tool. He's a hand woodworking genius. He's been doing it forever. And but that's where we're at. And I know this is a long video. Yeah, I don't expect you guys to watch it all. If you've gotten this far, you obviously have watched it all, haven't you? But yeah, so I'm happy. It's late. I came back here to do this and to bring in the wood I left outside and the papers and the miter saw. I left that out there. Oof, somebody donated that to us, and I left it out in the rain, so I don't think it got hurt at all. It was already rusty, so it's been in the rain before. But anyway, yeah, that's where we're at. Everything's looking good. The bungee cord's working great. That's got quite a bit of tension on it. And I have to actually make some notches in here to keep it in place. That should not wear out. But if I don't use a pulley, I might get a PVC pipe so that it's sticking out like this and rubbing against the pipe. At least it won't be cut by the wood. So we'll see. Try a couple of different things. I think the pulley system would be better. I'm going to go for that. But that's it. Long video, but we're making progress. I'm kind of psyched about that. You can see the difference. We started out square, and we started to shape it with just a rasp and a gouge, a wood gouge that you normally don't use for this. So, and I think it was a dull one at that. So, yeah, that's it. I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good night or good morning.